Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off because today I'll be sharing first looks at the Pathfinder and Starfinder accessories that are arriving from Paizo Inc. this month. And we'll get started right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, today I am going to be taking first looks at the Pathfinder and Starfinder accessories that are arriving this month from Paizo Inc. There are 5. Only one Starfinder accessory. It is a flip mat. We're going to be taking a look at that last. But this is actually a very big month for Paizo Inc. because outside of these 5 accessories, we have 5 other big releases as well. They are actually going to receive individual video coverage. And of course, we're talking about the Pathfinder Lost Omens, Knights of Last Wall, as well as the Starfinder Drift Crisis. Both of those are hardcovers. We've got the standalone Pathfinder adventure Shadows at Sundown. And of course, we've got new chapters in both the Pathfinder and Starfinder adventure paths. So a big month for Paizo Inc. That's for certain. So let's swing on over to the other camera and we will get started. A couple of things to mention. First off, I have this like sinus infection that just won't go away. It just keeps hovering around and very stuffed up. Of course, my voice sounds very nasally. It's usually a little nasally, but it's a lot more nasally today. In fact, this past week it has. So I do apologize for that. Also, should mention that the fine folks over at Paizo Inc. were kind enough to send me these review copies. But it's important to know that neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share this coverage with you. It's important that you know that. All right, first off, we're going to take a look at the Pathfinder flip mat Shadows at Sundown. And of course, this corresponds with that standalone adventure as well. Fear the Night, the Cathedral of Pharasma, goddess of death, has long stood watch over the city of Corvosa's sprawling graveyard. This flip mat details the cathedral itself, as well as the catacombs that exist below. Suitable for use with Pathfinder Adventure Shadows at Sundown or for any cathedral and attached catacomb found in your own campaign. All right, so let's jump on in here. So it's 24 inches by 30 inches. And of course, as with all these flip mats, it is treated so that you may use wet and dry markers on these. So this is pretty big. So we're looking at essentially it is 9 panels across. So this is going to be the outside, kind of give you an idea what we're looking at. And I point this out whenever I kind of take a look at any of these flip mats. These work very well if you're playing skirmish level miniatures games also. So any sort of fantasy miniatures game that you might be playing, including the Pathfinder battles, these work very well for. So this is the catacomb, or I'm sorry, that's the cathedral side. Now we've got the catacomb side. Just like so. There we go. And of course, these 2 locations are critical encounter points for the Shadows at Sundown adventure path that is also arriving this month. So there is the flip mat there. Next up, we've got the Pathfinder Alchemy Deck. The lab is open. Who needs magic when you have science? A healing elixir, explosive bomb, or liberating solvent can make all the difference in a day filled with harrowing adventures. The Pathfinder Alchemy Deck contains cards detailing every alchemical item in the Pathfinder Core Rulebook and the Pathfinder Advanced Player's Guide, including bombs, elixirs, mutagens, poisons, and more. Each card features statistics, descriptions, and beautiful full color illustrations. Keep each flask and vial at the ready. All right, so let's open this up. And I'm taking a guess we've got 110 cards, so really 2 decks. Yep, we do. Grab the hobby knife here. Now, we're not going to look at each and every card in here, of course, but just give you kind of a feel for what this deck looks like. And of course, I mentioned from time to time that a lot of these decks are very useful to take some of the pressure off the game master because these sit in front normally of the player. The players will have these so that they know all the ins and outs of each of these items, and the game master doesn't necessarily have to be forced to remember all of these things. So we've got the images on the front. Hypodermic needle. What is that? What is it? Leaden leg. Oh, it's something to be injected. It says once injected, this synthetic toxin sinks into the extremities, numbing them nearly to paralysis. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. All right, let's see what this is. That is cetylish oil. This thick substance is distilled from the mind-robbing cetylish fungus, though it lacks memory-altering capabilities. Huh. Okay. Aha, what is this? Stone Fist Elixir. Your fists become hard as stone. For 1 hour, your fists deal 1d6 bludgeoning damage and lose the non-lethal trait. All right, so of course we get a little instruction card here telling you how to use these. It looks like that's the open game license there. Let's see what else we've got. All right, let's flip these on over. Just take a look at a few of these too. That looks like some sort of an eye. Cat's eye elixir. After you consume this elixir, your vision sharpens and you become sensitive to even the most minute movements. For the next minute, you reduce the flat check to target hidden creatures to 5. Nice. Hey, beer. Bravo's Brew. This flask of, well, that's not a flask, that's a mug. It's a mug there. This flask of foaming beer grants courage. Doesn't all beer do that? For the next hour after drinking this elixir, you gain an item bonus to will saves, which is greater when attempting will saves against fear. Let's take a look at one more. Yeah, let's see what this is. Ghost Charge. This metal canister contains salts that disperse nearby undead. It deals the listed positive damage and splash damage, though, as usual, for positive damage. Yeah, it's little odd, little odd to try to read these as they're kind of like almost leveled to my face. All right, so we got the 110 cards in the Alchemy deck, and of course, this is available for an MSRP of $22.99. You can grab the PDF for $15.99. That flip mat we just took a peek at does carry an MSRP of, whoops, I forgot to put the other cards back in here. The flip mat carries an MSRP of $16.99 or $11.99 in PDF. So we also have the flip tiles campsites for Pathfinder. Once again, this is something else that should be perfect for those of you playing miniatures games, 28 to 32 millimeter minis. My gosh, this font is really small Flip Tiles Campsite is a standalone expansion suitable for use with any flip tile set, with 24 full color double edged 6 by 6 inch tiles stunningly crafted by cartographer Jason Engel. Whether your group is exploring a remote wilderness, stuck inside a sprawling dungeon, or simply trying to avoid spending money at an inn in the city, these campsites will help you plan out your evening. Suitable for experienced game masters and novices alike, this product fits perfectly into any game master's arsenal. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Once again, we're not going to take a look at each and every tile, but these are also treated so that you can use markers on these as well. So it looks like we might have one side wilderness and the other side dungeon. So that's kind of interesting. So we've got some tents here. Feels like I was going to say, it feels like we've got a couple stuck together. Yep, that's indoors, all right. So that's cool. So we've got outdoors and indoors. And usually there are a few duplicates in these flip tiles. All right. Let's see. Anything else that just kind of jumps out? No, they're all pretty much tents. Oh, we get a little desert there. What we got on the other side of that? Aha, snow. Hey, nice. So we've got a few different environments that we can utilize. Got a palm tree there as well. So we have 24 of these dual-sided tiles. And this does carry an MSRP of $22.99. And you can get the PDF for $15.99. I have to be honest with Paizo Inc. and their difference in price for the physical product and the PDF outside of core releases, because core books tend to be really, really affordable in PDF. Not so much with the adventure paths and things like these flip tiles. I would usually expect to see about 50% off the MSRP of a physical item for PDFs. That's not always the case with Paizo Inc. Although I have to point out, once again, there's some core books that are just phenomenal deals in PDF from Paizo Inc. I think the big deal, the accessory that most people are looking forward to this month is the deck of endless NPCs. Once again, this is going to be 110 cards. Creating a new character every time the players enter a shop or chat with a local on the street can be a real challenge. But the deck of endless NPCs makes it as simple as drawing 4 cards from the deck. These cards combine to form a unique NPC, each with their own role, motivation, personality, trait, and secret agenda. With over 100 million different combinations, you are sure to get an interesting new character every time. Okay, so let's take a look. We'll put together a couple of characters here. Shrink off of that and get the shrink off of this one. All right, come on. There we go. Looking to see where we've got the instruction card. Probably here? No. Oh, maybe. Yes, this is it. These are our instructions. So, and then it looks like our open game license here. So it looks like we've got 10 cards that lay out how we're going to build an NPC from these character cards. So let's take a peek. So it tells us how to read the cards, the back of the cards, kind of putting the cards together in a diagram like so. creating the NPC from the 4 cards. So it lays everything out for us. So I'm taking a guess. We're going to take something along the lines of something like this and like that. So that would be 3 cards. What would we do with the 4th? It's kind of cool. I like how this works. Okay, so it looks as if we do something like this. No, it's got to be something like this. I think that's how they're showing that we would create it. So we see what are they doing? What is their need? What is their secret? Huh, kind of cool. I'll give you a look at that there. Got the goblin, the tiefling. So of course we're going to have all these various different cultures here. I like the artwork. The artwork's very nice. Okay. It's like, it almost reminds me of Kickstarters where it's like, oh, and at this pledge level, we'll actually create you as a character. So we've got 100 cards because it's 110, but we just saw we've got, well, I think it's like 100, maybe it's 104 because we have the instructional cards as well. This looks very interesting. And I, of course, will look to put together a review of this deck because this is something a little different. I mean, like flip mats and things like that, it's kind of silly. Oh, here's a review of it. Well, you just saw it. You already know what it is. So why would I do a review? All right, so let's put these back in here. And once again, this is the deck of endless NPCs. It carries an MSRP of $24.99. And as you can see, there was some styrofoam, some shipping popcorn that's stuck to some of these. It's kind of like getting all over the table here. Anyway, I was going to say the deck of endless NPCs carries an NPC. There we go. MSRP of $24.99, or you can grab it in PDF for $17.99. And then lastly, we've got the Drift Crisis flip mat for Starfinder. I might as well just take the shrink off first. A trip into trouble. The hyperspace plane of the drift is malfunctioning, slowing interstellar trade and travel for all spacefaring citizens of the galaxy. This jumbo double-sided Starfighter flip mat features a hex grid map of a typical expanse of the drift on one side. That's for Starship Combat then. Yeah, right there. Perfect for the Starfighter role-playing game Starship Combat system. The other side is a standard 1-inch square grid showing the interior of a technological structure, such as a drift beacon, the satellites that help make drift travel possible, or a high-tech temple to the Triune, the tripartite deity who resides in the drift. Starfighter flip mats present ready-to-use science fantasy set pieces for the busy game master. Okay, so see what we have here. This one is 27 by 39. So I thought it was kind of interesting. We had that little extra kind of fold there. All right, so this is going to be the side for Starship Combat with the hexes. Good size there as well. So we're actually looking at 12 panels, as well as this little additional extra fold here. Okay, so let's take a look. Now we've got the site location. And as you can see, of course, this is treated so that you can use markers on this as well. Kind of interesting looking. There you go. Kind of fold that out also. I do want to mention that usually, at least in my opinion, the flip mats tend to be a little sparse. The flip tiles tend to be just feel a little sparse. And I got to be honest, I'm not aware of a lot of terrain pieces that you can add to these flip mats. But once again, I could easily see not just using this only for role playing games, but for miniature games as well. So, once again, this is the Drift Crisis flip mat, and it carries an MSRP of $22.99, or get it in PDF for $15.99. All right, so those are the 5 items that are essentially, in my opinion, accessories that are arriving this month from Paizo Inc. As I mentioned before, I am going to have a review of the deck of endless NPCs in the very near future. Looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. All right. And of course, I'll have coverage of the other Pathfinder and Starfinder releases in individual standalone videos coming soon as well. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, streams Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday right here on YouTube at 7 p.m. Central. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more that you don't find here on the YouTube channel. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Thanks for watching, and of course, until I see you next time, here's hoping each and every one of you get to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.